I'm gonna make a classic French omelet with a little cheese, very little, because we don't want to rack up the budget, and a salad, a side salad.
Okay. Okay, that sounds expensive,
I think this
GC.
I think this is great for brunch, for lunch, and for like late night with a glass of champagne. Simple vinaigrette, Sonny. You're gonna make salt, pepper, shallots, vinegar, and chives, whisk, and leave.
Okay.
Set.
All right.
Secondly, we have eggs. So how many am I serving? 6? 4?
Yeah. 4 is
4 to
family
6.
of 4.
Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 eggs. Think about eggs. You'd like them room temperature when you're making an omelet. You can add a little bit of salt, not too much, and some pepper.
I love that you salt the eggs from the get-go.
Yes,
People
you have to.
talk so much about
You have
this.
to.
You got to get that salt in there early. It doesn't do anything to affect the
Now,
texture.
there's a
of your
lot of ways to make a omelet, but a lot of people add stuff like cream, creme fraiche, water. Nada.
No water?
Nada. Pan, butter, bubbling. You're gonna take the eggs, preferably room temperature, and put them on the pan, medium to low. This is not a egg scrambling demonstration of speed. It's just a slow process. To this, really important, you're gonna add some chopped cold butter. And the reason why we do this, really it's not.
It's
just
expensive.
the reason why I do this, not to be fancy, is helps keep the protein soft so it doesn't get hard, so we have a really soft omelet because it melts generously.
When you get eggs out in a restaurant, they taste so much better than
Yes,
when you
because
make
it's
them.
a soft omelet. So as you see, I'm just using this on medium heat. Scraping it down with a plastic spatula in a good non-stick pan. You want to have a pan that's non-stick, preferably. And some of the pans, they don't last very long, so you just want to get one that lasts, or get a new one for this particular demonstration. I'm just moderating the heat. You can see the heat is not too high. It's high enough to cook, but I'm really taking care of the omelet to make sure it doesn't get like all on the bottom and stick. So I'm just pushing it off, pushing it toward the center. And now I'm making, I could go either a scrambled egg or an omelet at this point, all right? Now, if I was gonna go scrambled egg, I would take a whisk. How you doing over there, Sonny?
I'm done.
Okay. I would take a whisk and start to whisk these into like small curds, but I'm not gonna do that.
With some scramble.
And if you're gonna do a whisk in a nonstick pan, make sure it's a plastic whisk.
That's right.
So at this point, you know, you want to tell, okay, do I want a soft omelet baveuse? Do I want a medium omelet, which is a little bit more cooked? I like it soft. So at this point, I'm gonna shut the heat off. And then I'm gonna add the cheese. This is Gruyere cheese, 1.5 ounces.
Beautiful.
And just a touch of pepper.
Probably go
because
cheaper. Just put some Swiss, you know, some Swiss.
I love the taste of pepper. So I'm letting this sit just for a second, and I'm letting the residual heat from the pan sort of come up and like kiss it a bit more, just to finish the cooking. You can see this. You can see how nice that is? Sort of
It's also so French.
Yeah.
French make the best salad dressing,
best.
in my opinion.
You don't have to flip it. You don't have to throw it in the air. It's not a pizza. You just have to take it like this, okay? And just roll it. So the heaviness of the omelet is gonna, it's gonna make itself. You see that? And then you're just gonna take it like this and flip it onto the platter.
Oh my God, so beautiful.
And one last, I'm gonna take a little what I call shining butter, which is just soft butter.
Oh, bien sûr.
Oh,
of that.
that's at least 25 cents right there.
It is, but so what?
It is worth it.
Oh,
That's
So
gorgeous.
there you are. That's a French
Wow.
omelet with a little salad.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Please slice it up.
So, Katie, that's yours.
this is worth every penny, you guys. The Gruyere cheese, it has such a wonderful nuttiness to it, and the melty, and the eggs are so perfectly cooked and creamy.
Oh my God.
And then that salad dressing, the chive and shallots, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it cuts the fat, right? And
Ooh.
be a great lunch or late night.
That is fantastic.
A simple omelet with some vegetables. Vegetables, brunch? Absolutely. How about some nice, earthy, white button mushrooms? I like to cook these in a cast iron skillet that I get hot, and I add just a splash of olive oil, 2 tablespoons. And here I've got a pound of white button mushrooms that have just been rinsed. So add them in. And these mushrooms are really loaded with water, so you need to be a little hefty with the salt. Some cracked black pepper. Now for some aromatics, just a couple pieces of fresh thyme. I love the little sizzling sound that makes. And a few cloves of garlic. For a pound of mushrooms, about 4 cloves, and I'll just give them a light tap. And then give all this a nice stir to get it cooking together. Okay, I wanna make some toast, because I really wanna make something that's gonna showcase that homemade butter we made. I'm a big fan of the sourdough. Tangy coffee cake, little tang in my bread. That's just my personal favorite. And I like my toast thick, because I really want it to stand up to that butter. And that's never gonna fit in a toaster, so I'll just do it in the oven. Now, white mushrooms. To give them a little extra depth of flavor, I like to add dry marsala. Now, I'm adding a fortified wine to a hot pan on the stove. So I'll pull it off the heat. I'll add about a quarter cup. And pop that right back on the heat. And before I do anything else, I'll let that marsala cook down a little bit. I want to add something just a little bit bright and light and fresh by adding a nice amount of just spinach. So just pick out that thyme and those garlic cloves, because it's done its job, and then add the spinach. I want to cook the spinach oh so slightly. And for that, I can shut the heat off because I think I have enough heat and momentum in this pan to wilt the spinach. And I want to get together my herbs for my omelet. So I'll start by mincing some chives. That gives that fresh, oniony flavor that we so love. Tarragon. Just a little chopped parsley. And then I really have my trifecta of flavors. You get that oniony chive, that sweet tarragon, and then that freshly mowed lawn smell of the parsley. That combination, to me, is perfect with eggs in an omelet. For one omelet, I take 3 whole eggs and give that a little whisk with a fork. No need to overwhelm. Save your energy for eating. To get a light and fluffy omelet, the best thing to add is actually a splash of water. Give it a whisk. So I have my mushrooms in the pan. They're all cooked down. That spinach is just wilting on top of it. They really sink up that marsala, really brings them to life. Now we're ready for the perfect omelet, and so easy to make. This is just 3 eggs with that teaspoon, that little splash of warm water. Now do that for a little personality. Couple drops of hot sauce, couple drops of Worcestershire for a little salty underhint, and then a touch of salt. So we start with a hot nonstick pan and just put a touch of butter in there. Just take the plunge. Pour those eggs right in. Give it a little stir, and that'll give you a nice middle. Then swirl the liquid all through and let this cook. You're not moving, you're not doing anything else. The world stops because you're making an omelet. And now for the herbs. Chives, a little bit of tarragon for that little sweetness. And finish up with the parsley. Fold the first side in towards you. Just roll up, hiding all those vibrant herbs underneath it. Unmold it right on there. Line up some of those spinach and mushrooms. Just kind of park them right next to the omelet. Slice of toast. And then really that real reminder that we just made everything from scratch. That homemade butter with the sea salt and the cracked black pepper on top. Hear that sound? That's the sound of brunch. Wow, I have to take a bite. This is just toast times 10. Now for the omelet. Wow, it just has such a clean, herby flavor.
Omelets in a bag. I am really excited to try this. Now, the first thing to remember is to start with a bag that's approved for boiling in water. And the second thing to remember is you gotta have fun. I'm just prepping all the ingredients first. I'm gonna slice off a little piece of green bell pepper. I'm gonna dice everything up pretty fine. I don't think it's gonna take too long to cook the omelets, so I don't wanna have huge chunks of veggies. I just grabbed whatever veggies I could get my hands on. I'm a big mushroom person when it comes to omelet. Okay, I'm gonna dice up just a little tomato. The good news is I'm not making a huge commitment by just making one omelet in a bag. nice to experiment with things like this before you really go whole hog. Okay, I've also got a green onion for extra flavor. And why not? I've got chives too. Open up your produce drawer and see where the world takes you. Okay, so now I'll put this thing together. Cannot wait to try this. I'm gonna start with 3 eggs. That's a pretty good size for an omelet. And I just decided to take the easy thing one step further and not even use a bowl to mix up the eggs. I'm gonna crack them right in the bag. And then very carefully use a fork to just break them up. I sure don't want to pierce a hole in the bag. And then everything just goes in. The peppers, tomatoes, some grated cheese, some thin deli ham. Of course, you could use bacon, sausage, anything you've got. And the green onions and chives. I'm getting stuff all over the place. And the shrooms. Needs a little bit of flavor, so I'll sprinkle in some salt and pepper. I gotta tell you, I love it already. Okay, I'm gonna seal it up and get most of the air out. It's so colorful and pretty, and I love the idea of making a bunch of these the night before. It would make the cooking process go so much faster than tending to a skillet. All right, here goes nothing. Drop the bag right into simmering water. Guess what? The 15 minutes are up, and I cannot wait to see the results of these little hack experiments. Look at that omelet. I am so intrigued. Okay, I'm gonna set it down and just let it cool off a little bit. It is mighty hot. My dream is that this thing falls right out of the bag. It looks amazing. Wow, it's just so moist and perfect. I think it could use just a little garnish. I've still got some chives left.
Our omelet bar. All right, guys, so got some ham here, got some onion, some mushrooms, I think those are bellas, diced red peppers, some bell pepper, some scallions, some shrimp, some blue crab meat, cheddar, and Havarti cheese.
I'm gonna go with E, all of the above. Just mix it up, a little fiesta.
Little fiesta, okay. Okay.
I don't want everything. I want to get the diced ham,
Okay.
the crab meat, shrimp, and mushrooms for me. And some cheese.
Okay. What kind of
I'll
cheese?
get cheddar.
So I like to do a dozen eggs in a bowl. I want to put about a half a cup of milk.
Ooh, that's a secret?
That's how I get my eggs fluffy.
Wow.
Milk. A little pinch of salt and some cracked black pepper. Whisk it on up. This is how my mom taught me how to build an omelet. You cook down your ingredients first with a little oil and butter. I'm gonna put my egg mixture in here, add the ingredients on top of the egg mixture, fold it over, boom, you got an omelet. I wanna make Belicia's first since she's pretty easy. She wants everything.
I do.
Really? I got you. The shrimp is already cooked. The crab meat is already cooked. What I want to do is cook down the vegetables first. I need to put the mushrooms in here right now as well because I need some of that moisture to come out the mushrooms. All right, I'm gonna hit it with some salt. The mushrooms have cooked down. Some of that moisture has come out of the mushrooms. Now it's time to add Felicia's seafood. A little crab meat, a lot of crab meat. I'm gonna get my pot hot tablespoon of butter and oil. I like to put a lot of oil and fat in my pan before I make my omelets because you don't want it to stick. My mom showed me this trick when making omelets.
What's the trick?
Come on,
Me too?
both of y'all.
Oh.
You get your omelet, you push. You see it starting to cook on the edges, push it up. All the uncooked part of the egg is just gonna,
Right.
And I like to do that because I need it to be cooked all the way through.
Yes.
I'm good.
All right.
I just want to show you. So I just want to show you. That's the important part of it.
Gotcha.
Then you fill it. Put it on one side of the omelet. Okay. Take it off the heat. Fold.
Oh.
Fold. Because we put all that oil and stuff in there. Slides right out. Felicia!
That's me.
Order up.
All right.
Order up.
Thank you. Ooh. That smells so good. Ooh.
All right, all the meat, Shalonda.
I need it all.
Same process for all of these, just changing the filling.
Ooh.
Yolanda, your omelet.
Thank
Look
you.
who's here. Jamie's here. Hide the bacon.
Oh my gosh.
Glad you made it. We were afraid that you were gonna like bail out because
No way.
we didn't have like celery and water. Come on.
Celery and water.
Your omelet, Jamie.
Thank you, thank you. A tortilla omelet burrito with pulled chicken and some salsa verde. Salsa verde, translation, green sauce. Tomatillos in the gooseberry family, they look like green tomatoes. In fact, they're not, but you can utilize them that way. All right, just quarter the tomatillos. And this is a sauce that you should just know how to make. You can make a fantastic green salsa that you can serve with like chips, for instance. And I start by making this sauce just like this. So this is a good recipe for you to have, period. If you want to get this recipe, just go to foodnetwork.com/brunch, and whatever we're cooking today, it will be there. We have some jalapenos and some red onion. We're just gonna chop these up coarsely, and then a couple of cloves of garlic. We're gonna put all this on a sheet pan with a little bit of canola oil, and we're just gonna let them roast. And then when everything gets nice and soft, we can actually blend it all together. We'll put some cilantro in there, we'll season it up, and we'll have a beautiful salsa verde. A little bit of canola oil. Season it up. Let's get in the oven. 375, 400 degrees. Probably will take about 20, 25 minutes maximum. All right. Tomatillos, onions, garlic, and jalapenos. And they're nice and soft and roasted. It didn't take very long at all, maybe about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. We're gonna put this right into a food processor. Gonna put a little bit of honey in here. Why the honey? You have the spiciness from the chilies and you have the tartness from the tomatillos, so you want to balance that out. We're gonna put a little bit of acidity with this fresh lime juice. Totally puree it. Okay. It's really pale. It's actually not a very pretty color. And we want to make this green. Now, the way to do that is obviously put something green into it to really kind of bring it out. And something fresh. So cilantro works really nicely. Now, the thing about it is that this is still warm, and we're gonna actually heat this up with the chicken. This is chicken that it's like store-bought rotisserie chicken. And we're just gonna cook the chicken in the sauce first. And at the very end, we'll add a bunch of fresh herbs so it really kind of pumps with the green. If you put it in when it's warm, it's just gonna turn gray anyway. So we're gonna take a little canola oil. I want my chicken to be pulled, but I want it to be in big pieces. It kind of drives me crazy when it's so shredded that it has no texture. You find that with pork a lot. Texture is so important. A little salt and pepper. We can pour our sauce over this. Slow down the heat. The chicken's already cooked, right? So we don't want to overcook it, and we don't need to cook it for that long. But I just want the sauce and the chicken to really get to know each other for a minute. And we're gonna make some chicken cracklings, or fried chicken skin, and this will give that sort of nice crunchiness to the burrito. And you already have the ingredient. It's like a free thing. Skin comes with the chicken. Put some canola oil in here, let it heat up. While we're waiting for the oil to heat up, let's crack some eggs. So I said before, we were making a tortilla omelet burrito. So basically, what we're gonna do is crack some eggs. So we're just gonna whisk this up. A little bit of hot sauce. This, of course, is optional. And we're just gonna pour this right into the... And this way, when we're ready to go, we'll just take one of our tortillas and dredge it into the egg on both sides and then cook it right in the pan. All right, I think our chicken skin is ready. There you go. And you just want to crisp up the skin. Chicken cracklings. Anything crispy and crackling is all good for me. All right, so they really take like 20 seconds. I'm gonna let them drain on a paper towel, and we'll just keep cooking more of these. First thing I'm gonna do is finish up our chicken by adding a bunch of fresh cilantro to it. And this is actually gonna freshen up the color for sure, but also the flavor. Little squeeze of fresh lime. So now, let's make our tortillas. So we have our eggs with a little bit of hot sauce and some salt and pepper. Dip it into the egg, see what happens. Flip it over. A little crusty on the outside. Puffing up a little bit. Gonna start by putting a little chicken in here. I love rotisserie chicken because you just take it home and then you can make a chicken dish in, in a split. Some little cheese. We have some Monterey Jack and some white cheddar. They both melt very well. The cheddar's gonna have a little bit more of a bite to it. Squeeze a lime. And don't forget our chicken cracklings. This is gonna give the burrito a little bit of crunch on the inside. And a little bit of crunch is always a good thing. Fold on both sides. Fold over the filling. It's pretty cool. Let's do one more. Fold it up. A couple of limes to go on the plate. A little fresh cilantro. Maybe a little creme fraiche on top. Give it a taste. That's so good. The egg on the tortilla is a really cool idea. I mean, I love the flavor of eggs on basically anything, so especially for brunch. The chicken with the salsa verde and those cracklings, that makes all the difference, because otherwise it's all one texture.